Okay, Ivy, you're on.
The October 7th meeting of the Thousand Oaks Youth Commission is called to order. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Alpert.
Commissioners, please turn your mics on. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Alpert. We will now have the roll call taken by the Staff Liaison, Francine Spriggle.
Please state here present when I call your name. Chair Schlosser.
Here.
Vice Chair Nash.
Here.
Commissioner Alpert.
Here.
Commissioner Emanuel.
Here.
Commissioner Friedman.
Present.
Commissioner Goodnight.
Present.
Commissioner Matus.
Here.
Commissioner McCune.
Here.
Commissioner McCary.
Here.
Commissioner Melton.
Here.
Commissioner Swanson.
Here.
Commissioner Shu.
Present.
Adult Commissioner Petrus.
Present.
And Adult Commissioner Martinez.
Present.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to ask Commissioner Melton to introduce item 4, the public comment section of our meeting.
This is the time in our meeting when we invite members of the public to state their concerns about youth-related issues in our city or to present items for commission consideration. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak at this time? There being none, let's move on.
Thank you, Commissioner Melton. Item 5 on the agenda is guest speaker. Will Commissioner Matus please introduce this portion of the meeting?
Thank you. For today's guest speaker, I would like to introduce Mike Hauser, a senior analyst in the city's Public Works Department. Mike is a 32-year resident of Ventura County with 25 years of experience in local government. The past 22 years spent with the city of Thousand Oaks. He has for the last 11 plus years been managing the city's transit program, Thousand Oaks Transit. Prior to leading the transit program, Mike held various positions with the city clerk, city manager, and cultural affairs offices, and has also worked for the cities of Fillmore and Santa Paula. Mike has a master's degree in public policy and administration from CLU and holds a transit management certificate from University of the Pacific.
Mike was unable to attend and he's not here yet. So he wasn't sure whether or not he was going to be here. So we might have to continue it until he comes or until our next meeting. And I apologize, I didn't notice that in advance. But great introduction. Thank you. Go on to the next item.
Thank you, Commissioner Matus. Item 6 on the agenda is project reports. The Youth Commission undertakes a number of projects during the year. I will introduce the following commissioners who oversee the coordination of these projects and ask them to present summaries and please provide any updates. Item 6A is City of Thousand Oaks General Plan Update. Would Commissioner Emanuel please give this report?
The Thousand Oaks General Plan has been hosting meetings open to the public over Zoom. The attendance from community members has been high and their feedback is appreciated. The last meeting discussed environmental issues in the community, including things such as transportation, solar, and sustainability. I encourage everyone to be on the lookout for our next meeting. We would love to have you. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6B is Youth Master Plan Implementation. Would Commissioner Emanuel please also give this report?
This year's implementation committee has chosen to focus on the topics of mental health, school safety, environment, and recreation. I will now ask each project leader to give the report on their topic. Would Commissioner Swanson start us off?
Hi, everyone. I'm Commissioner Swanson, and I'm a co-chair on the Mental Health and Vaping Prevention Subcommittee. My team and I had a preliminary meeting in September to discuss the tasks we want to accomplish and our methodology on how to approach said subjects this year. Speaking on mental health with the goal of inclusion in mind, we looked into the plausibility of a webinar to discuss mental health among teens. We found a discussion among teens with the possibility of including a guest speaker would be most effective in reducing the stigma around mental health. We looked into what populations face mental health issues most commonly, and it's apparent that the LGBT+ community faces such issues at an unproportionate rate. Therefore, we decided to make our advertising efforts reflect said disproportionality. When we looked into methods to prevent underage tobacco use, the overwhelming most effective route is via the ban of sales. Based on legislation approved in San Francisco, we have looked into proposing a similar bill and tackling underage e-cigarette use in the city of Thousand Oaks. The two issues we plan to face are extremely interrelated, and with our multifaceted approach, we have to simultaneously reduce e-cigarette use and reduce the stigma around mental health issues. We are always looking for more participants, so please reach out if you're interested. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Would Commissioner Shu give the report next?
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to chair the Environmental Committee with Commissioner Emanuel. This committee aims to provide youth with resources to tackle environmental issues in our community, spread awareness about these issues, and encourage youth to, most importantly, take action. We will work with different community members on developing resources and encouraging youth to maybe put on events and opportunities throughout the year. So right now we are focusing on recruiting more students for this committee and specifically reaching out to teachers, teaching environmental science at the high schools. And when we do formally establish our group, we will then focus on our goals for this year. Something that we will work on this year is collaborating with the city's environmental action plan and representing the youth ideas and needs and concerns there. And if you are interested in joining this committee, feel free to reach out to me or Commissioner Emanuel or email the Youth Commission email. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, would Commissioner McCary give the report?
Hello. So currently the recreational subcommittee co-chaired by Catherine and I, we are working on recruiting students to join our subcommittee, and we plan on we have a couple ideas in mind to really advance on the idea of inclusion, including the special needs students in our community. And we are getting a jump start on that currently.
Thank you.
Thank you to all those commissioners. Item 6C is youth recognition. Would Commissioners Goodnight and Shu please give this report?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Riley Goodnight, and I'm co-chairing the Youth Recognition Awards with Commissioner Shu. This year, we are so excited to be putting on the annual Youth Recognition Awards, an event that honors youth volunteers at an awards ceremony and recognizes the Youth of the Year. Youth play an active role in supporting the community. They support their time, talent, and creativity to benefit hundreds of clubs, organizations, and events. And this is seen through assisting neighbors, tutoring, organizing fundraisers, and volunteering at events. The Youth Commission hosts this annual event to honor teens as a way to thank them for their contributions and bring attention to their volunteer spirit.
Hi, I'm also so excited to be co-chairing this event with Commissioner Goodnight. So basically every year in February, applications open to nominate youth in the community who have made a significant impact through volunteering and many other philanthropic works. And the nomination process works by having a community member or school staff nominate the students, and then we go on to interview and select youth to be recognized. And then you may be invited to a recognition ceremony in May if a student is selected. And this year, the application and event process may be different than before with the virtual conditions, but either way, we will find a way to recognize the amazing youth in our community who have done so much, and especially for the community during this trying time. And we're so excited to honor youth and work on this project this year.
Thank you, commissioners. At this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to Vice Chair Nash.
Item 7 is the school and liaison reports. In addition to being an advisory board to City Council, the Youth Commission also appoints commissioners to act as liaisons to various youth organizations. Commissioner McCary, will you please introduce item 7A, the Thousand Oaks Library Teen Advisory League or total item on the agenda?
Hello, I would like to introduce Tara and Maya to give the total report.
Hello from the Thousand Oaks Library. Our names are Maya and Tiara, and tonight we represent the Thousand Oaks Teen Advisory League, also known as Total, for the library. If you don't already have a Thousand Oaks Library card, we hope you'll get one, and it's super easy. You can sign up on our website, www.tolibrary.org. Go to Get a Library Card link and fill out the form. This will give you a digital ID to access all your virtual library services like streaming, TV, music, and reading, magazine, books, and access to all our databases. If you want to check out physical materials with our curbside service, please click on Ask a Librarian link on our website, give us your name and a digital number, and a librarian will be in touch with you to convert your digital ID card to a physical library card, and you can use it for all physical checkouts as well. This month, the library has a number of great programs just for you that you can check out, such as our creative writing workshop for middle schoolers, a friendly teen poetry club, book and movie club activity recommendations, our friendly teen writing group to rewrite a fairy tale, and our Protect Against Cyberbullies and Online Hazards and our digital citizenship workshops for youth and parents. So check out the schedule online and sign up to attend.
There are a ton of great virtual online resources at the library, and they're all listed on our website, specifically under the Teens page. But you can also go to our virtual library and our virtual programs and activities site to learn more about different programs. We have videos that talk about test preparation for the ACT, SAT, and AP exams, also fun and educational stuff like Science Flicks, Canopy, LinkedIn Learning, lynda.com, and Great Courses videos. Although our Newbury Park branch is not yet open, you can learn more about our curbside pickup service and book returns at the main Thousand Oaks Grant R. Brimhall Library branch on Jans. You can drive by and drop off books as well as do curbside pickup for new physical materials like books, audiobooks, and DVDs. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to click on the Ask a Librarian on our website for chat, email, or text support. You can call the library to speak to someone or leave a voicemail. We would love to hear from you. Go to www.tolibrary.org as a great place to start your research or just to browse and explore new ways to have fun. Thank you so much for your time, and we hope you will check out the Thousand Oaks Library soon.
Thank you. Item 7B is the Teen Center Advisory Council. Will Teen Center Liaison Commissioner Friedman please? Yes.
I'm going to interrupt. We're going to go back and have our report from our guest speaker, Mike Hauser. So can you introduce him first so that he can come online? And then we'll go back to the Teen Center report.
Yes. Commissioner Matus, can you?
Yeah. I would like to introduce Mike Hauser, a senior analyst in the city's Public Works Department. Mike is a 32-year resident of Ventura County with 25 years of experience in local government, the past 22 years spent with the city of Thousand Oaks. He has, for the last 11 plus years, been managing the city's transit program, Thousand Oaks Transit. Prior to leading the transit program, Mike held various positions with the city clerk, city manager, and cultural affairs offices, and has also worked for the cities of Fillmore and Santa Paula. Mike has a master's degree in public policy and administration from CLU and holds a transit management certificate from University of the Pacific.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, and I do apologize for my tardiness. We were having some Zoom difficulties. So I'll get right into this, and it is a real pleasure to be here and to be with you. I will be sharing my screen momentarily. So here we go. So I'm here today to talk, or this evening, to talk a little bit about public transit, some of the impacts that we're having with COVID. I want to talk about how transit is going to be different for those of you that use it once in-class sessions resume, and also talk a little bit about one of our favorite programs, which is the Summer Beach Bus. So by way of background, City of Thousand Oaks operates a public transit in the community. And currently we have 5 bus routes that service about 55% of the city within about a quarter-mile radius. We also provide a dial-a-ride service to our seniors and those people that are disabled. And annually, before the pandemic, we carried and provided services to about 400,000 people, and we have a budget of nearly $8 million. In addition to the City of Thousand Oaks, we also provide service for the City of Moore Park, Gura Hills, Westlake Village, the County of Ventura in the unincorporated areas, and also in the area of Oak Park. And lastly, we do intercity services for seniors and the disabled so that people in the East County can travel to the West County and connect to services in Los Angeles. One of the questions we often get asked here in the transit program by residents is, does the city even have to provide public transportation? And the answer is yes, because the city about 45 years ago decided it was an important aspect of the community to be able to provide to seniors. Once we sort of took that leap, then we were sort of committed for the long run. And since we offer a bus service, we also have to provide the vans for those people that are disabled under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Now, programs like the Summer Beach Bus are voluntary. And so often we fund these programs as we're able to when we have grant funding to pay for them. So everybody's been impacted in some way by the current pandemic, and transit is no exception. Our ridership has been greatly reduced since the pandemic started, as would be expected. About half of our ridership is made up of students in grades 1 through 12, as well as those seniors that use the service. And currently they don't have the opportunities or the need to use the service. And so we've had to cancel some services temporarily, suspended others, or modified. But we've also been able to take advantage of our resources and do things like provide support to the Meals on Wheels program using those same vehicles, and provide transportation for people to get to homeless shelters and other facilities that social service organizations need us to help them with. So when the COVID-19 pandemic first started and it was becoming a serious problem, one of the first things we did, and it may have impacted some of you directly, is we suspended our bus service for 6 weeks. And the thought process behind that was we needed to make sure that we had a good plan that we could keep everybody safe. And also very important was that we have a number of seniors that rely on our dial-a-ride services for very important medical needs, such as dialysis and cancer treatments. And we needed to make sure that we had a pool of drivers that were free of the virus and that would be able to provide service. So once we had a plan in place that included disinfecting of the vehicles, then we reopened the service with reduced hours. We've been waiving our fares so that currently the bus service and the dial-a-ride services are free to use. I'm going to be talking about some other free programs for students in a moment. We closed our transportation center and began a process so that when we were ready, as we are today, we're currently operating our normal hours. And we, though, do limit the number of people that are able to ride a bus. For those of you, perhaps anybody from Newberry Park High that may ride the bus in the afternoon, sometimes we'll have 45, 50 people on the bus. Right now, we're limiting that to no more than 8 to 13. And so that presents some challenges as well. We have mandatory face coverings, which is to be expected in a confined area, and we'll provide those masks on request. And we're also handing out hand sanitizer to anybody that wants it at the transportation center or on our dial-a-ride. We've opened up the transportation center, and we're currently cleaning our vehicles multiple times a day. And we're going to continue to provide a waiver of the fare for the indefinite future, at least through the end of this year and hopefully into parts of next year. So if you do have to ride the bus for any reason, you can do that for free. And our service also transfers to the VCTC Inner City, so you can actually get to Oxnard, Ventura, Moore Park, or Simi Valley free of charge. Going forward, we probably won't have as many people on the bus, and when school resumes in-class sessions, we're going to have to look for ways how we can accommodate those students that need to use the bus. That will probably mean putting out extra buses just for school service. Those of you that ride the bus are going to see the operators are going to be behind plexiglass partitions now, very similar to what you see in stores. Mask use is going to be mandatory for quite a while. And I don't know when, but I would say for at least the next 6 to 9 months. And at some point we will have to return and charge fares. Now in our community, as I mentioned, we do have 5 bus routes and we operate 6 days a week, a little bit shorter hours on Saturday. And during the summer, we typically offer the summer beach bus. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to cancel it for this summer, but we're very hopeful that next year we'll be able to provide that service. And we were frankly really looking forward to it because we had a new provider who had some really nice buses that we were going to use on this service. If you do have to ride the bus, and once we return to charging fares, regular fare is $2, but there is a special student discounted 31-day pass that allows you to use the bus at any time, as many times as you want for only $28 a month. So it's really a great bargain. And if you need transportation within the community, it's a really good resource to you. Some of you may have experienced the past before when it was restricted only to school hours. So now it's available any hour that we operate. And as mentioned, you can transfer free to other buses like VCTC. For those of you that may be juniors or seniors and are participating in perhaps a college class via one of the community colleges or Cal State University Channel Islands, once school resumes back in session, if you have a student ID from any one of those colleges, you can ride any of our buses at any time for free. And that's not just our system, that's any system in the county. So you can basically go anywhere on the bus for free if you're enrolled in any college in the Ventura County area. Just a reminder that you can use our buses to get to our transportation center or to the Oaks Mall, and then use those to get to LA, to Santa Barbara, and points in between. So for instance, you can take Commuter Express to get down to downtown LA, to the campus of UCLA. You can take Metro 161 to get into Woodland Hills. You can take the VCTC 101 bus to connect in Oxnard to get all the way up into Santa Barbara and Goleta. We made a big change here recently, about a month and a half ago, or actually 2 months now. And for those of you that may have not ridden the bus since last school year, this will be a big change. We've changed our routes completely. So once school is back in session, make sure to check out the new routes. One of the great things about these routes is now 4 of the 5 buses all come together at the same time at the Oaks Mall, which means there's no more waiting for a transfer. 80% of the transfers will be done in less than 10 minutes. So no more sometimes waiting 30, 40, or 50 minutes for a bus. And all the buses are operating every hour on the hour. And if you live in the Newberry Park area, you can get all the way across town on the 44 bus all the way to the Westlake portion of Thousand Oaks without having to change buses. What's coming up for the future, near term, up in your top left corner there, we will be rolling out electric buses in the community, hopefully as early as 2023. More likely it'll be 2024, and it's really comes down to a funding proposition. These buses are very expensive, upwards of $750,000, and it's something that we need to save and budget for. There also may be the possibility in coming years of hydrogen-fueled buses as well. And while I would love to have a Hyperloop in town, it's probably not possible here, but it is being tested in other locations, as well as perhaps autonomous vehicles along Thousand Oaks Boulevard. So if you want any information about transit, how to use transit, we do have a good web page that provides regional transportation. You can write us at our email account, which is totransit@toaks.org. Visit our website, which you can get through this link or through the city's website. And we do post regularly to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at TO Transit. We also hold travel training sessions. So if you're new to using the bus and want to learn how, we'll be offering a virtual version of that sometime in the spring. And lastly, if you need any information about bus services in general, call our staff. They're always willing to help. And they're available by phone as early as 5:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night on the weekdays. And that number is 375-5473. I really appreciate your time. And if you have any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer those now. Got to have at least one question or I don't get good marks on my presentation. Francine will have words for me.
Never, I would never.
Yeah. So, well, oh, I see a hand. Wonderful.
Hi, thank you for coming today and giving such an informative presentation about transportation. And I'm wondering, does transit include just cars and buses, or does it also include the possibility of scooters in the future, like electric scooters in the downtown area?
Excellent question. In our community, I am responsible for the portion of transportation related to public transit. We do have a bike and pedestrian coordinator as well. And actually the scooters have been talked about several times. In fact, we thought we were going to be rolling out any moment, and that has come back and forth. And I understand one of the companies has come back to us again with interest of rolling that out. I think certainly it's something that needs to be explored, as well as other concepts as bike sharing. We discussed that at the CLU campus as a possibility, for instance. Car share as well, particularly with EV vehicles. Again, something that is being discussed, but no formal plans yet. So there's a whole variety of things. And of course, you all are experienced with Uber and Lyft as well. It is something that we would like to incorporate as part of our overall plan for transit. However, there are some funding constraints that we're under that prevent us from leveraging the money that we have available to do that. But it's something that we continue to explore, as well as even shuttle services to the various area airports as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Francine stepped away. Does that mean I can? Francine, we had a hand up there.
Jacqueline.
I was just thank you for coming. And I was just wondering, are there plans for more bike lanes, or do you think that we have enough in our community?
Oh, I don't think there's ever enough bike lanes, and it's a continuous effort. In fact, every year there is a pool of money that's set aside from the federal government that all the cities in the county compete for. And we've been very successful in using that to increase our bike paths. And it's actually a dedicated funding source. And I know that every year the city goes after that money. And I know there are plans not only in our community, but adjacent communities to continue to expand that. I think it is an important component to transit, and one that we will continue to aggressively go after, as well as connecting paths from community to community.
Thank you.
These are great questions. Go on, some more.
Eddie.
Thank you so much for coming. But I just have a quick question about how the downtown Thousand Oaks is going to influence public transit and what might change from that.
Certainly. Right now, as a transit manager, I've got a huge area to cover with a set number of resources. And so we have to make judgments, but certainly
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. All right, quiet.
certainly as the Boulevard gets developed with additional housing, there is definitely going to be a need to increase the frequency. That was one of the reasons why we made this change recently. And those of you that may have ridden the bus before, remember that especially along Hillcrest and Thousand Oaks Boulevard, the buses made these long loops. And so depending on where you got on the bus to get back to where you were going, you had to ride the entire loop. Now on Thousand Oaks Boulevard, that bus goes up and down, and that's all it does. And so we've cut that travel time in half. And I can envision in a few years a situation where you will be seeing our local buses going up and down Thousand Oaks Boulevard instead of every hour, every 30 minutes. And so connecting the areas between, say, the Oaks Mall to the Westlake Promenade in that area. So we are expecting to do that. There have also been discussions about a trolley as well. Those discussions have a tendency to come and go every few years, but it is something that to be explored. And I had mentioned about electric buses. Certainly when we do roll out electric buses, the first buses are going to go on that Route 43 on Thousand Oaks Boulevard.
Catherine?
Yeah, I have another question. I was wondering, are there any like other considerations or possibilities for the bus to go to, like, let's say for example, Los Angeles. So one goes to like the beach right now. So like another destination.
Always a possibility, but I'll throw a number out at you. So just so you can sort of get the scale. The summer beach bus, which only operates for about 9 weeks and does 2 trips per day, costs the city about $120,000 to operate for that time period. So it is very expensive to operate any service. So there is this equation between the number of people that are going to ride and the cost. Certainly, we will put a service in anywhere where there is the demand for it. But I would encourage you that, particularly for those of you that have an expectation of maybe doing regular visits to Los Angeles, really explore the metro system, because there is a connection with this. Explore the Commuter Express, but also don't overlook the Metrolink service as well, because you can make an easy connection from our community to either Camarillo or Moore Park and then use that. And frankly, that is a service that we really need more people riding on so that we can increase the frequency of service coming there. But short answer to your question is we respond to requests from the community. Many of the bus stops that we added here recently with our route changes came directly as a response to people saying, I would ride the bus if you had a bus stop near me. Well, again, thank you. Oh, I saw a hand. I saw a hand. Maybe no.
Anthony?
Thank you so much for giving this presentation and answering our questions.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to be before this group. I'm really excited about everything that you are doing in the community and the advocacy that you have for programs. So please consider making transit a part of that as well. And if anybody has any questions about transit, they're free to reach out to me at any time, and Francine will give you my contact information. Take care, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now the meeting will go back to Vice Chair Nash for agenda item 7B.
Item 7B is the Teen Center Advisory Council. Will Teen Center Liaison Commissioner Friedman please introduce this portion of the meeting?
Thank you, Vice Chair Nash. Good evening. The Thousand Oaks Teen Center is hosting a quarantine camp starting next week. This is a COVID-safe club open for 6th through 8th graders, filled with daily activities such as homework time, crafts, games, tutoring, and more. In other news, the gymnasium floor just got refurbished down to the wood, It was sanded and repainted, and also the Teen Center logo was added in the middle. Remember, all Teen Center activities are following current COVID guidelines and restrictions. You can learn more at thousandoaksteencenter.com. At this time, will Commissioner Martinez please give the report for Cycles for Success? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Friedman. Currently, the Youth Outreach Program is conducting a Cycles for Success program, which is designed to meet the needs of teens who have little or no resources to get a bike. Especially during this time where a lot of teens are dealing with the loss of family income, dealing with even homelessness, and are going through a lot of hard times right now. Prior to COVID-19, there was a significant amount of students who finding difficulties getting to school because of lack of transportation. Not having a car, or having a car that was broken but unable to have the finances to fix the car, and so on. So they would find themselves in a position where they were struggling to get to school. Sometimes the long distances were involved. So that meant that they had to walk a long ways, or decided that they'd probably skip the day if they couldn't find a ride. So the Youth Outreach Program designed the Cycles for Success program to reach out to those teens and to fill those needs. As of now, since it's going on 3 years now, the Youth Outreach has given out approximately 125 bikes to teens in need. And it's still going on right now, even though school's not meeting on campus. There's still need to find a way to get around town, get to their jobs, and just get outside and have some exercise and enjoy life a little bit outdoors. So we're still accepting bikes from the concerned citizens in our community, and they've really come through, and I can't say enough about our community. I'm so proud of our citizens, and they've really stepped up. And as of now, they're actually emailing me and calling me and wanting to give their bike to the program, donate their bike. It could be a used bike. It could be a bike that's gently been used, so to say. But right now, we're only taking bikes that need little or no repairs or tune-ups. And in turn, we recycle them out and give them out to the teens in the community. Right now, we're focused on teens from 12 to 17 years of age. So please, if anybody out there who would like to donate a bike, they can feel free to call me at the Teen Center, Thousand Oaks Teen Center, at 805-494-5156. Or my email address is pete, @crpd.org. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Freeman and Commissioner Martinez. Commissioner McKeon, will you please introduce item 7C, the ASG-ASB portion of our meeting?
The Youth Commission invites representatives from each of our local high schools and intermediate or middle schools to present information about school activities for the purpose of generating a feeling of community spirit. First, can I have Ahana Bunia present from Sycamore Canyon Middle School?
Hi, my name is Ahana, and I'm the treasurer of ASB at Sycamore Canyon School. So we're working on doing fundraisers right now. So we have an upcoming cookie dough fundraiser next week, and we plan on doing a Seas Candy fundraiser in December. We're trying to find ways to show the staff our appreciation. So we're trying to figure out if we can have food delivered to the teachers. To get the students involved, we've been having lunchtime activities for them to participate in between the lunchtime time, and we are doing spirit days, and students are posting themselves in the spirit wear on Padlets, and we are hosting raffles so the students get more motivated. We're also having challenges where the students can send in pictures again on Padlet just so they can feel more spirited. We also are sending out video morning announcements to the students every other week, and we just sent one to the students a few days ago regarding Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Our next representative speaker is Michael Linderoth from Newbury Park High School.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Linderoth and I'm in Newbury Park High School's ASG. Since the start of online school, we've been really working towards improving our social media presence and helping students feel as connected as possible. Every week we do Staff of the Week posts, Student of the Months, and we've been doing spotlights for certain students and clubs. All of our upperclassmen in ASG got paired with a group of freshmen to be their buddies for the school year. We help them with their class schedules, sports, and any other questions that they have about high school. As we're wrapping up celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month on October 15th, we are continuing to interview and share stories from Latino cultures on campus. Looking forward for the month, we do weekly challenges where people send in photos and we repost them on our Instagram story. This upcoming Friday will be Wear Pink for breast cancer awareness, followed by one showing off our Halloween costumes. But in the past, we've done selfie with your animal and throwback pics in the past. For all of our social media challenges, we give away 5-star points as a prize, which is our school's reward system, with prize incentives that we will be given at the end of the school year. In the past 2 weeks, in about 2 weeks, we will be starting a pumpkin carving contest from home with students sending in their submissions, and we will pick the winners after Halloween. Also, on the topic of Halloween, we will be leaving a bucket of goodies in the office for the office staff that is currently on campus. Lastly, we teamed up with kindergarten students in the district to put together an inspirational video for our seniors. We are finalizing the video and sending it to our seniors, hoping to lighten the mood for their final year. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And our last representative speaker is Samantha Wildman from Westlake High School.
Hi everyone, I'm representing Westlake High School's ASG. So though it's been difficult, we're still doing a virtual homecoming week next week because we can't have it on campus. Starting next week on Tuesday, we have pajama day. Wednesday, it's gonna be hoodie day. Thursday is tie-dye day, and Friday we're still having everyone dress up in homecoming and formal wear. And on each of these days, we're still doing lunchtime activities to try and get our students involved. On Tuesday, we're doing homecoming trivia and a scavenger hunt. On Wednesday, we're having a student lead a baking recipe. So we're doing baking buddies. On Thursdays, we're doing a bow tie tutorial for the homecoming formal wear the next day and nail art. And on Friday, we're trying to resemble a rally. So we're having the dance and the cheer team perform on Zoom. And we also did homecoming court already. So they're selecting teachers to announce our homecoming court. And lastly, we're still doing tribe lunch once a week for students who are feeling lonely right now. I know that it's hard to feel connected in a time like this. So tribe lunch, you RSVP, and all of our ASG students come on and just chat while having lunch. And yeah, and we're still fundraising, but thank you.
Thank you so much to all three of our representative speakers for coming out. Now I'd like to turn the meeting back over to Vice Chair Nash.
Thank you to those representatives who came out to make reports for your schools. We encourage all ASGs to send your representatives each month. Thank you, commissioners.
As we come to the close of our meeting, I would like to ask Commissioner Shu to introduce item 8, Commissioner Comments.
This is the last portion of our meeting where commissioners can provide any information, comment, or announcements which no action by the commission will be taken. At this time, are there any commissioner comments? Chair Schlosser.
I just wanted to remind everyone, if you are old enough to vote or if you're not, you can register or pre-register to vote at registertovote.ca.gov. And I just think it's really important to participate in national elections or even local elections, just to use your voice.
Are there any other commissioner comments? And I just wanted to add on to what Commissioner Schlosser said. I think October 19th is the deadline to register to vote. So make sure if you do want to register before that. And I'm pretty sure the website is registertovote.ca/gov or .ca.gov. There being no more commissioner comments, I turn this meeting back to Chair Schlosser.
Thank you, Commissioner Shu. Before I adjourn this meeting, I have a few reminders. If you would like any information about the Youth Commission or have questions about the agenda items discussed, please call 805-381-7362 or email youthcommission@toaks.org or like Thousand Oaks Youth Commission on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. There being no further business to come before the Commission, the Youth Commission meeting is adjourned to our next regular meeting.